Donzo class. My task was to look into qualitative data analysis software for social networking. And I really wasn't surprised that there were many that I could choose from. For example, I found Gephi, UCI Net, Node XL, Netminer, and these were just a few. There were many others. All seem very complicated. Some are freeware and others you have to pay for. Well, I decided to go with one that was very popular and had a lot of features, Netminer. Well, according to their website, Netminer is premium software. It's a tool for exploratory analysis and visualization of network data. And it allows you to explore the network data that you have visually and also interactively. And it helps you detect underlying patterns and structures of the network. So in order to get to Netminer, we just go to their website, netminer.com. And as you can see, they do have like a buy option, but also fortunately it is available for students and for teachers. Students can get a free version that they can use with their course, and that gives them, it gives students free access to their full program with just a couple of things that are omitted for 6 whole months. If a student is using it for research, they are allowed to download and use the basic software with a couple of things added for an entire year. I went ahead and took advantage of downloading the software, and for a while I didn't think that I would be approved because you have to justify that you are a student with classes, and they give several suggestions on how to do it, like going to your school website and finding your name in a directory there, or using your student ID that has a date, and unfortunately ours really doesn't have a date. Also using a receipt for your registration. I did a combination of my ID card scanned and also a kind of verification of enrollment that is on our Southern website, a means of demonstrating to maybe insurance companies that you are enrolled. And that was good enough. By this morning, I was able to download the software. It's very large. It took about 30 minutes for that to happen, but I have it and it is running. But in order for me to show you a demonstration of sorts, they also have a way of downloading an example data that can be used. We go to the resource page and down to the data archives, and then look for their example data on the very last page, and we're able to download that. Well, I went ahead and downloaded the sample data and extracted it to one of the folders on this laptop. And as you can see, there are some Excel files here. This information or this data has to do with business in some way. I'm not quite sure what it is, but it does have a lot of names and information about departments and gender and education. Another file, this work interact, somehow associates those names of people with each other in some way, so data is obviously in here. And here's another one. This has to do with purchasing of products. And again, those people that are listed in the other two Excel files are somehow associated with the products. So there's plenty of data for us to be working with. The next thing that I have to do now is to go ahead and integrate these folders, this data, with the Netminer program. Okay, I just opened Netminer, which I have on my desktop right here. And I also just uploaded 2 of the files from the sample data. I'm going to go ahead and import the last one. So I go to File, Import, and the type of file I'm going to import is Excel. And then I browse around for the location. I've already done the main node and the first mode. Now I'm doing the second mode. You notice that the data is right here ready to be imported. It somehow knew what it was, and it has marked the appropriate places for me, so that all I have to do is accept this. And the data is up successfully, and it is somehow a subset over here where I can access it. Now that this business data has been uploaded, I can access the folders by double-clicking on them. For example, here is the 2-mode data, just as we had before, and the others are there too. And I can even get to the main set that has all the information on the individuals that are in this data. I can even rename these files if it's more convenient for me. For example, this main node can be renamed to something like employees. This, I can just call it the work interact. And this is apparently purchases or purchase. So why not just leave it like that? And similar to this one, this is just purchases. Once we have the data sets in this Netminer, then we can do things with the different files. For example, if I open up the work interact, I can make some changes here. In this file, in work interact, for example, is showing some sort of relationship with the individuals that are listed in the files, and it's giving a weight of, it seems to be from 1 to 5. If I go to the matrix and look around, I can see, for example, that there is some sort of relationship that is marked between Ashley and Anna, but there isn't a relationship between Anna and Jessica. If I change my mind on that, I can go ahead and input some information here. Let's just give Anna a 3. Okay. And now with a 3, Jessica's relationship to Anna is weighted higher than Anna's relationship with Ashley. And now I'm going to try to draw a network map that will help us do some visualization on perhaps some patterns that are that can be seen between the different pieces of data we have here. Let me go to the employees file. and then go up to visualization, spring, and I'm going to do a 2D network map. Okay, and there it is, 2D network map. As you can see, there are lines that are connecting the different employees. We can just see the nodes themselves. The nodes are pretty plain. They all look pretty much the same, but we can also change that. Let's see. I can control the layout of the map and change the attributes. For example, I can go to the this chart and control the shape, color, and size of the different nodes. And you notice now that the nodes are different. Based on what? Let's see, red is finance, green is marketing, and blue is sales. I can save this map if I want to. Go up here, go down to capture map, and I want to save it to a file. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to save it right there. It's been successfully captured. But of course, because this Netminer software can do statistical analysis too, we can do that with this data. So I go up here to analyze, and I'm going to select centrality and degree. I have work interact selected, and I'm going to run the process. And hopefully we will get something here pretty soon. There it is. So it's given me information and a main report down here. I'm not sure what degrees of centrality scores refer to, but apparently you can see it in the network data down here, and also in this interesting graph that is supposed to demonstrate that the closer the nodes are to the center, the higher the centrality score. We can also do some other things with this data. For example, we can do different charts. If I want to do a box plot, then we have the two different variables, dependent or independent variables that I can select. I'm going to just pick any two. For example, I'll pick maybe job ranking, and let me look at gender, and let's see what sort of box plot we get with this. So here's the report for the box plot, and here's the data that's going to form the graph, and here is the actual graph. And if you look at this, it does give you some valuable information comparing men and women, and you can see here that the women are actually overall ranking higher than the males. Well, I guess that's about it for Netminder. It's a good program. It's certainly good for doing visuals when you're comparing social networking data. That's it. Y gente.